So Vedant, let me tell you a little bit about what exactly is happening over here. What we are looking at is a very serious report from the IMF. This is what the global community looks forward to through the year. This is in Marrakesh, where I am reporting now. This is the IMF and the World Bank's annual meeting. Now the summit, as you said, has revised the IMF I should say, has revised India's growth rate upwards to 6.3%. India's growth rate has therefore risen by 0.2% from the last time when there was an assessment. India therefore being the highest growth rate among developing economies, in fact one of the highest GDP growth rates anywhere in the world. Now, it's important that we put this in perspective. It comes at a time when there is incredible global uncertainty, not least of all uncertainty which is broken out in the last 72 odd hours because of the war between Israel and Hamas. Now, the IMF was asked about that just a few minutes back and whether they were deeply concerned on this having a global economic impact, and they said that they're closely monitoring the situation and they will assess for possible impacts in terms of global economic growth when that does take place. But even despite that, the overall projection of the IMF this time around has been fairly downbeat. India is a shining light in that sense, but overall the concerns are significant, and I'll point out some of the concerns which the IMF has spoken about. China faces growing headwinds. The pace of global economic growth has been moderated. Several forces are holding back global economic recovery. There is increased geo-economic fragmentation, says the International Monetary Fund. There is a long-term impact of the pandemic which is still being felt, and the Ukraine war remains problematic. There is a strong recovery, however, of the United States among developed economies, but overall there is a great deal of divergence between different parts of the world in terms of overall growth. I can also tell you that extreme weather events, the IMF says, is one of the contributory factors which is affecting global growth. So that's a snapshot really of what the IMF has said the International Monetary Fund has said in its World Economic Outlook.